Night shifts are defined by a specific kind of isolation. In the small hours, work happens inside a glowing glass box surrounded by absolute dark. The customers become a predictable trickle of society's outliers: truckers, long-distance travelers, and night owls. Cadence closing down a local dive bar, highway gas station attendants, and overnight Walmart workers all exist in this vacuum. They manage the quietest hours of the economy, usually entirely alone. While erratic, chaotic violence is a common fear, many night shift stories reveal a different pattern. These incidents involve individuals who display an unsettling degree of patience and coordination. An empty convenience store or a quiet bar functions as an enclosed hunting ground. With limited exits and no witnesses, the environment itself provides a ready-made trap for those looking to exploit it. An ambush often begins with remote probing. A young gas station worker reported receiving a series of phone calls from a man using a forced, low voice. These calls were a diagnostic tool used to confirm over and over that the employee was the only person on the property. The caller eventually remarked on how quiet the store had become as the night progressed. This proved the surveillance was active and local. The predator was watching the building, waiting for the foot traffic to hit zero. This scouting also happens in person. At a quiet bar, Cadence was visited by a man who used polite conversation to gather intelligence. He spent his time asking about her schedule, how she liked working alone, and the exact time her shift ended. He wore a dark turtleneck and a trench coat, looking more like a wealthy father than a typical regular. This sophisticated presentation was purposely mismatched to the gritty dive bar environment, projecting an aura of safety that lowered the worker's guard. These initial interactions serve as intelligence-gathering missions. The goal is to verify that the target is truly vulnerable and that no one else is expected to arrive. Predators often utilize social hijacking to bypass a victim's defenses. By feigning vulnerability or forced familiarity, they create a reason to close the physical distance without appearing threatening. At a Walmart, a female predator approached a worker and claimed a man was recording her. By acting as a savior, she gained physical control of the worker's arm and began redirecting her toward an unmonitored warehouse exit. A similar tactic appeared at a gas station when a man claimed his car had broken down near the edge of the highway. He pleaded for the attendant to leave the building and help check under the hood, using this misfortune to lure the target into the dark. These diversions place the victim in a psychological trap. They are forced to choose between their survival intuition and the societal pressure to be polite and helpful to someone in distress. The diversion functions by occupying the victim's entire focus. While the worker is engaged in conversation or a social obligation, the real threat is free to maneuver into position. The trap usually becomes visible just before it closes. An attendant checked his monitor and spotted a second figure crouching out of view behind the broken-down car, waiting for him to step outside. This coordination was even more apparent at the dive bar. While one customer kept the bartender busy at the front, masked accomplices were simultaneously trying to force the back door open to block her escape. Security footage revealed that the man stalking the aisles and the woman acting as the savior had actually walked into the store together. They entered as a team, playing opposing roles to herd their target. Coordinated ambushes rely on asymmetrical warfare. The victim believes they are dealing with a single, manageable individual, unaware that they are already being surrounded. In every case, survival required an abrupt break from social norms. The Walmart worker had to violently yank her arm free. The gas station attendant had to ignore a plea for help and hit the panic button instead. These actions require the victim to risk appearing rude or dramatic. Breaking the politeness contract is often the only way to disrupt the predator's timing. The physical sensation of dread is a biological survival mechanism. It signals that the subconscious has detected micro-anomalies, rehearsed dialogue, or odd positioning that the rational mind is trying to ignore. These predators operate in the open, standing under the same harsh fluorescent lights as their targets. They don't need the cover of darkness when they can use the social pressure of politeness to finish the hunt.